19, in one of the slums of New Orleans. An ancient century-old manor house was full of urban legends and mysteries. In this house, Michael, a young man, had to stay alone for one night because his family was going to the city for the weekend. Michael was curious about the stories he had heard about the past of this old house. But tonight, he would begin to discover his own story. The first night, Michael tried to sleep in the silence in his bedroom, but a strange beam of light, as if something was flashing, caught his attention. This light inside her room was like the reflection of someone's eyes. Michael, walking slowly around his room, noticed that the eyes disappeared on their own. On the second night, Michael saw in his dream the story of the former owners. In his dream, he saw that the people who once lived in this house were conducting strange rituals and interacting with dark forces. These stories, he was trying to communicate with her. On the third night, Michael decided to solve the mystery in the house. He explored every corner of the house, studied old family albums, and began to learn about the history of the neighborhood. History showed that this neighborhood was filled with an old urban legend, the story of the Eyes of Light. On the fourth night, Michael discovered the origins of this urban legend in his dream. In his dream, he saw that these buildings were actually the headquarters of an ancient demon cult. He learned that the Eyes of Light were the result of a pact with demons. On the fifth night, Michael understood the mystery inside the house and the demands of the Eyes of Light. Her light eyes were asking him to help her fulfill the obligations of the old agreement in the neighborhood. Michael ended this story by making a deal with these old demons and protecting the neighborhood. When Michael's family returned, the house had now become a place dominated by silence and peace. After this experience, Michael began to appreciate the history of the house more and became part of the legend of the neighborhood. In the foothills of the mountains of Colorado, a chalet that had been forgotten for centuries was surrounded by town legends. In this house, Emma, a young woman, had to stay alone for one night because her family was going to the city for the weekend. Emma was determined to solve the mysteries of the chalet. Tonight, however, he was going to embark on a journey towards his own terrible story. The first night, Emma tried to sleep in the silence in the chalet, but in his dream, he heard a strange scream from the depths of the mountain. The scream stuck in his ears and he felt as if it was coming from inside the chalet. Emma, quietly wandering through the corridors, tried to find the source of the scream, but found nothing. On the second night, Emma saw in her dream a dark story about the house's past. In his dream, he saw that this house was once a sacred meeting place of indigenous tribes and was cursed after a tragedy. During the night, the tribal spirits were trying to communicate with him. On the third night, Emma decided to solve the mystery in the house. He explored every corner of the house, studied old family albums, and began to learn about the history of the town. History showed that this house once interacted with supernatural beings and was cursed. On the fourth night, Emma went on a journey to the top of the mountain. There, he communicated with the spirits of an ancient tribe and learned how to break the curse. The spirits of this tribe gave him the task of restoring the balance of nature. On the fifth night, Emma did her best to break the curse in the house. The cursed shriek has disappeared from the chalet forever. Emma returned to her home in the silence of the mountain and in the peace of the spirits of the tribe. When Emma's family returned, the house had now become a place where silence and peace prevailed. After this experience, Emma began to appreciate the depths of nature and the past more and continued to be referred to as a new heroine of the town legend. In a rural part of Kansas City, an abandoned school building was filled with ghost stories and deceptive legends among the townspeople. In this school building, Emily, a young woman, had to stay alone for one night because her family was going to the city for a weekend vacation. Emily was determined to discover the mysteries of this school building, but tonight, he was going to start writing his own story. The first night, Emily tried to sleep in the quiet of the school building, but in his dream he heard strange sounds. Footsteps, whispers, and the sounds of doors slamming gently. It was as if there was something else in the school building. Emily, slowly wandering through the corridors, began to follow the trail of sounds, but each time she could not find anything. On the second night, Emily saw images of the school building's past in her dream. In his dream, he saw that this school was once cursed by a group of young students, and ghosts still roam these corridors. These images that had surrounded his dreams throughout the night, he was trying to communicate with her. On the third night, Emily decided to solve the mystery in the school building. He explored every corner of the house, studied old student albums, and began to learn about the history of the town. History shows that the school once became the biggest curse of the town. On the fourth night, Emily began to solve the curse of the school building in her dream. In his dream, the spirits of the former students were still trapped in the school, and he tried to communicate with them. Emily bravely took action to end the suffering of these souls and solve the curse. On the fifth night, Emily managed to restore the school and its ghosts to peace. The school had now become a place dominated by silence and peace. Emily began to appreciate the history of the school more after this experience, and it would be remembered by the townspeople as an unforgettable story.